And that were the first three notes we heard from Black Sabbath. And I'm making this show on the week that Ozzie has passed away. I've already did a silent tribute after his last concert the few weeks before. So there you go. This is going to be a bit different. There's not much that I can say that you guys and gals out there don't already know about Ozzy Osbourne. He's one of the most beloved characters in the world of rock. And he and his partners in Black Sabbath, Tony Iommi, Bill Ward and Geezer Butler, put the stamp on what we basically call metal. And there you go. By the way, my name's Chris Quinlan, Melbourne Musos. There you go. Here's my notes. Yeah, bit hard. So I'll do my best. I've got a book that I'd like to share with you. Which is this one here. I got it when I was a schoolboy. It is the sheet music book Black Sabbath, Shattering Sounds from 4 albums. There it is there. Look at the price tag. $2.99. I got this in a little music shop that I used to walk past from the train to school, Xavier. All that kind of stuff. Imagine me going to Xavier. God, what a... Dad, what were you thinking? All my mates went to Collingwood Tech. But what it is I'm putting it up there. And what it dictates, what it does, is it takes you through the first 4 albums. Black Sabbath, Paranoid, Master of Reality, Black Sabbath Volume 4. That's where it stops because that's what it was up to. There you go. But my other favourite is the next one, Sabotage. I love this, and I've been very proud to have played Hole in the Sky and Symptom of the Universe on a fairly regular basis. War Pigs and Paranoid. Oh, the amount of times I've had to teach Paranoid as a guitar teacher as well as drums, my lord. But what it is when we go through the songs, they're all classics, you see. And that is what Ozzy Osbourne has been a part of for so long. And of course his wonderful solo career as well. It's hard for me to actually make a tribute to someone like that because he's an icon. And you all know the story. What's the point of me picking up my phone and reading, oh, this is Terence, this is, John Osborne, everyone called him Ozzy from when he was a kid. It was pre-Sabbath. And Ozzie Zig needs a gig. Got his own PA. Got my own PA. Yeah, let's ring him up. We need the PA. I've been there. I got a PA, yeah. Oh, sorry, I sold my PA. No more calls. Oh boy. So what it is, and how do I explain a person like Ozzy from behind a drum kit sort of thing when so much has been said about him and everything else? So I'll do my best. And this is where the triggers come in on dear old Doris here, in the sense that I'm using a blues scale, which is one of the iconic Tony Iommi go-to scales for all his wonderful riffs and stuff. He did other stuff as well, but amazing business. And what you've got there is the Diables in Musica, you see. So what happens is when you're dealing with a blues scale, it is, I'll get into the harmony side of things, it's the first, the flat and third, the fourth, the flat 5, okay, and then the 5th, and then the flat 7, and then the octave. Okay, when you're doing guitar, it's 1, 4. When you tab it out, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3 to the octave. There you go. And it's the flat five, the devil in music. Diabolus in musica is what it's known as. And it was frowned upon in the Middle Ages. It was like the note of the devil, all that. And but what more to the point, it was very hard to put into choral harmony and things like that. So it was a little bit meh. But look it up. Diabolus in musica is what it is. And Sabbath were masters of the Diabolus in musica, do you see? So what you've got, this is a C blues, and I've got the voices in. There they are. Boom. And when you're actually I'm talking about the first album. And Satan is coming round the bend, all this sort of stuff. But what it is Bill Ward. He was the jazz guy of the group. He gave it the swing. He loved jazz. Oh, and then imagine a rhythm section. I did a show about 5 years ago, and I'm going to put it up on my pages on social media. 5 years ago, it was the 50th anniversary of Black Sabbath's first album, and also the 50th anniversary of Who Live at Leeds. Now let's talk about the rhythm sections. Crazy. What you've got is Bill Ward and Geezer Butler. How's that backing you up? Geezer Butler, just his lines. The bass solo before NIB, Nativity in Black. I was used to be called Nibby, that's where it came from, according to Bill Ward. And then someone decided to put full stops and they called it Nativity in Black. Oh yeah. And what happens is I'm humming. I'm air bassing NIB with the opening solo. And then you got Who Live at Leeds with Keith Moon and John Entwistle. Oh, crazy. I mean, both albums, 1970. What a year. I may as well just quickly reference my history. The first time I heard those albums, essentially, was when my dear old dad, John James Quinlan, was running the Dan O'Connell Hotel in Carlton. Very renowned for the Irish music coming out of there, and especially in that kind of times, all the troubles back in dear old Ireland and that. And what it was a fairly heady atmosphere at the time. At the Dan O'Connell Beer Garden in 1970, or the late 60s into the 70s, basically the folkies were there every Saturday afternoon. I was the pub kid, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, right until Dad retired. And I'd be collecting the ashtrays and the cigarettes, eventually serving behind the bar, because you could in those days if you were underage, however, part of the publican's family. And so I'd be listening to all this Irish stuff, and they were crack musicians. They were just wonderful. And one of my little minders, or not little, he was huge, one of my minders at the time where Dad said, can you just look after him in case it gets a bit rough? It was Declan Affley. Who remembers him? There you go. And after the folkies left, there wasn't too much trouble. They knew what they had. And then the folkies would leave, there'd be the switch over to the bikies. And every Saturday night, all the bikies would turn up. And they were on best behaviour, so I got to see the best of them. Yes, I understand, but I got to see the best of them. And one of the minders for me when I was a kid was the bikie Gunny, if anyone remembers Gunny. And Dad bought them a Dad bought this record player, and we'd get Arlo Guthrie, Alice's Restaurant. We'd have Janis Joplin, and then all of a sudden, have a look what I've got here. Put it on. Led Zeppelin 1. Bang, bang, do, bang, bang, do. And then, oh, look at this one. And then, boom. Oh, everyone would go quiet for a little while, and there you go. And I'm going, what's this stuff here? Oh, it's rubbish, son. Don't really bloody listen. What's their name? Black Sabbath. Is that with an F? Sabbath? No, Sabbath. Like that. And I've gone, oh, I've got to work out what this is. And there it went. Tattooed on the back of my neck. And so that's what I grew up with. So I suppose being a Jethro Tull tragic, that came from the Irish men and women. And when we're starting to talk about the bikies, that's where I started to get to hear Led Zeppelin's first album, and then Black Sabbath's first album, and Deep Purple in rock, and these classics. And that was my Saturday night. If I wasn't at the footy, or if it got a bit rough, and Dad'd say, son, better go upstairs, it's a little bit rough tonight, sort of thing, with Dad and dear old Len, my brother, and that stuff. And just the legacy of people like Ozzie Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, Bill Ward, all that kind of stuff. What music, you see. So I'll get back into it a little bit. I suppose I should drum a little bit. I suppose I am talking about that, but I did want to talk about this book here, which I got on the way to school. $2.99 for the first 4 albums. And the first one is Black Sabbath, and then you've got the bells, you've got the classic iconic album cover, all this business. And what it is when you actually have a look at it, words and music, and it's by their, Terence Butler. Where did Geezer come from? John Osborne, Frank Iommi, and William Ward. Okay, there you go, very thing. But you notice all 4 of them, it was split 4 ways. One of the big things about Sabbath was, well, it's not Sabbath without the 4 of us together, so we may as well split everything 4 ways. People used to ask Geezer, well, you wrote the lyrics. And he'd go, yeah, but Ozzie sang them. And then you'd have Tony Iommi coming up with the riff, but then Bill Ward had add a drum lick to it. And one of my favourites, and apparently one of Frank Zappa's favourites, is Supernaut. And then they'd all get into the bongos in the middle. The foot. Everyone talks about John Bonham's foot, bass drum foot, but that's where Bill Ward shines, is on Supernaut. So much so that, who remembers the Aussie band Supernaut that named themselves after that song? And their hit, they used to play on Countdown a lot. I like it both ways. Good luck to you. And that's what that is there. And then now I've suddenly switched to volume 4. But there's your Black Sabbath first album, Black Sabbath itself. The Wizard. Wizard walks by. Lots of space. Tony Iommi and Geezer used to come up, with riffs and words and all sorts of stuff. But lots of space, okay, for Bill on drums. Seeing him behind a drum set, nearly not quite as big as Bill Ward's drum kit got to, but there you go. NIB, Sleeping Village, which was pretty much side 2's, the extended guitar solo You got to remember that was all done at the same time as Led Zeppelin's second album, where you had Heartbreaker with the big extended Jimmy Page solo in the middle. There you go. And one of the things that was very similar, if we're just going to talk about Sabbath, Zepp and Purple, one of the things is you'll have... I'll leave them in. Time change. And then what happens is you'd go like if you did Heartbreaker, I think I brought it up. I will take them out for this because it's a little bit on the distracting side. And bow wow, bow wow, bow bow, bow bow bow, da 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 da, bow bow bow. Now we're on to Paranoid album, and one of the great things is the cue. So on, da-da, deck the halls with boughs of holly, ba-dow. Christmas carols done, War Pig style. I did that at the Alex Theatre. The Christmas show. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Ba-dow. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Now, you've got this. The cue, the little open hi-hat bit. Oh, isn't it wonderful? War Pigs. I do believe that for years and years they always started their concert with War Pigs. My Lord. There you go. And of course, they finished the show with the classic Paranoid. Okay, and there you go. But I'm on record for saying I love the in-betweens. Okay. So when you're talking about... when you say talking about things like Paranoid, the album, you've got classic songs like Planet Caravan, not necessarily a drummer's song, but just the in-betweens is what I'm talking about. And the thing about War Pigs is the bit that everybody sings along with. When you've got a song where people just sing the lead guitar part, that part is called Luke's Wall. It's a song within a song. Now, Sabbath was the epitome of they started pretty much, or in that thing where you had the song, but then there's that middle section, the song inside the song. Okay, people like Dream Theater are masters at it. Metallica, you always got that middle section. Right, here we go. Head down, bum up, bang. That sort of stuff. So, you've got Dream Theater, for instance, doing a 16-minute epic. But what you really got is the song on each side at the beginning and the end. And then you've got 10 minutes in the middle of just this incredible instrumental business. Sabbath were amongst they were at the beginnings of all of that. There you go. It's just amazing stuff where you just go on this musical journey in the middle of a tune, and it had its own name. War Pigs. You had Luke's Wall in the middle. There you go. But I was talking about Planet Caravan. When we get to Master of Reality, I got asked about that by one of the priests at Xavier, and he said, bring along a record. He was trying to do a little thing and everyone brought their records and stuff. I brought in Master of Reality. I just bought it. And the first track, put it in and you get, down, down, I love you, sweet leaf. And the priest said, Chris, what do you think this song is about? And I said, oh, I think it's about the band going out and gardening, Father. There was a couple of nights where I was picking up ashtrays and empty glasses, and I'd be coming back into the kitchen area to start to wash them, because that was my other job, to wash them. When I brought them in, I had to wash them and bring them out in, get down here. I always remember coming home from Princes Park, and I'd be watching the replay if we were on. Carlton and Collingwood at Princes Park, that kind of thing. We won by 10 points, that kind of Chesa. And the intercom would go off, and it'd be like, hello, get down here, son, and wash some glasses, we're busy. Click. Next thing, all night washing glasses. But there was sometimes I was coming out going, like that. And Ken the barman, who remembers dear old Ken the barman? He was my other minder, along with Uncle Andy. All the bartenders were my uncles. And I think Chris has got a bit of a fever. Son, you better go upstairs. And in hindsight, of course, I was passively stoned. I'd be going through and there'd be the little plume. I love you, sweet leaf! And away you'd go. So that's how personal Sabbath became to me. Ah, boy, it's a journey. And they spoke to me, the lyrics. We can have a joke about Sweetleaf, of course, but when you're starting to talk about children of the grave, into the void and all that, you got words that they were doing that during the Vietnam War. How relevant is it right now? It still all holds up. But as I said with this little bit, I also love the in-betweens. And the little in-between song off of Master of Reality is Solitude. What a beautiful song. It's sad, it's dark, of course, but it's just beautiful. And page 53, let's go there. And what we've got is Solitude, G minor, F, and all that. And there it is. And there you go. You just open up the book, and really, if I put it there, have a look at the beginning, and what you've got there is the guitar part, right? And then underneath the bass part. And really, it's an example of brilliant contrapuntal harmony. Oh, it's metal band, mate. What are you going? You swallowed a dictionary. But have a look at it. Oh, it's just like, harmonically balanced. And all that. I don't know, I just played it. That kind of thing. Good old geezer. What an incredible bass player. Like even the start to War Pigs with his bass solos, they were just, the four of them, just brilliant stuff. And Ozzie right there the whole time. And until he got sacked. Oh, well, that's another story. But there's your Master of Reality. Then you had Black Sabbath Volume 4. That's when I saw something today. The last time I took acid, we were recording Volume 4, and I took a few tabs of acid, and they found me in a field talking to a horse for half an hour. And that's when I stopped. I thought the horse started talking back. I saw that just today. But that's the album that Changes is on. And that's another beautiful song that he and his daughter sang at his final concert. And there you go. Okay, page 78. I love this book. $2.99. Can't go wrong. There you go. How am I going for time? I'm already over. So there's my thing about this tonight's show on the week that Ozzie has gone to the great gig in the sky. I don't know whether he went up or down, the Prince of Darkness, that kind of thing, but But this is my tribute and to him and the band. Fabric of my youth. Nothing at the Dan O'Connell could have happened without music like that. Everyone was fighting for something. And with that, here's to Ozzie. Okay, take care everyone. I'll have this up as soon as possible, and it'll be on beloved Channel 31 in about 10 days. Okay, Wednesday week I suppose. And take care and raise a glass, as they say, for some of our heroes. Take care. And now it is time for a nice glass of